Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another opposition review. We're here with Luke from the Up the Villa podcast. How are you, Luke?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
We're just going to get straight into things with the first question here, Luke, and it's that Aston Villa finished seventh last season. It was a really impressive season, especially when Unai Emery came in. What were your thoughts on last season?
Yeah, I thought we did really well, to be fair. Unai Emery came in and galvanised the whole club, really. Tactically, he'd got us playing really good football, and it was football that we've not really seen before, like winning consecutive away games, home games, and it's opened my eyes to how football can be played, really, because we'd watched quite a lot of crap football. So yeah, it was great last season, and to finish it off and get into the Europa Conference League just topped it off, really.
Yeah, you mentioned the Conference League, European football for Villa. How are you feeling going into that campaign in the Conference League?
Yeah, good, excited. We haven't had European football for so many years now, and as Villa fans, we've won the European Cup, and it's the pinnacle of football, isn't it? Like even doing these chats now, like talking to an Everton fan. Imagine talking to like a Fiorentina fan, or it brings fan bases together, and the football's just completely different. You get to go to new places that you don't normally go to. So it's just exciting, and I think any club that's playing any form of European football is doing something right. So yeah, you just got to embrace it, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of business has gone on at Villa to prepare you for this season. What has your thoughts been on the business made so far?
If you'd have asked me before last week, I'd have said absolutely amazing. We'd built a really strong team with a lot of players, a lot of backup, a lot of players that can fit certain ways on how Unai Emery wants to play. We don't just play one formation; we play three in one game. And we bought a defensive cover in Pau Torres. We bought a explosive winger in Diaby, Tielemans, and we was hit by felt like we've been hit by a meteorite last week when Mings done his ACL, when Diaz done his ACL. So yeah, it wasn't a great week because in a transfer window you want to build and you want to create a great squad, and it felt like it was decimated last week. So yeah, we're back in the market now, trying to look for some different options. So yeah, it's all right.
You mentioned going in for some different options, and I guess that falls right into our next question, really, is where do you think Villa need to improve for this season if you want to, well, improve from that seventh place finish?
Well, we're looking like we're going to be bringing in a left back, Acuna from Seville, so that's one option sorted. We're looking like we may be bringing in a sort of an attacking midfielder as well. So I think if both those players, Zaniolo and Acuna, come in, then I think maybe like another centre back slash right back for our system on how we play, and probably, well, something that you guys desperately need as well. Maybe another striker.
Yes, don't get started on that. We'll be here all week if you start talking about that. But who do you think is going to be Villa's most important player this season?
um, I would probably say Diaby, brand new player signed in the summer for around 40 million. Um, a winger who's sort of playing off Watkins. So I think he's probably going to be one of our most important players, because from last season we really lacked like pace and power, and it's just sort of like that explosive nature. So I think from last season what we lacked, I think he will bring in sort of like the things that we were craving for last season.
Yeah. Last week, a bit of a difficult game to talk about with the match against Newcastle. What do you think went so wrong in that game?
Quite a lot. No, I think it just we actually started okay. We were doing all right at 2-1. We were well in the game, and Mings again did his ACL, and I just think as fans watching that, it's quite distressing seeing one of your better players sort of on the floor going off in a stretcher. And I think, imagine being a player or sort of like a work colleague, seeing someone like that happened to. So I think that really affected us. And then, yeah, we just kept going with this high line and we just got exposed. And it just wasn't a great day at the office, to be fair. But, you know, it's first game of the season. Newcastle are a good side, aren't they? And I think they'll do well this season again. But yeah, it just wasn't an Unai Emery Aston Villa performance last week. So hopefully we can bounce back on Sunday.
Yeah, you've just mentioned Diaby, and I think that'd be my answer for this question. But who do you think's the one danger man in the Villa side that Everton need to look out for?
Yeah, I'd say Diaby. I mean, you know, it's like anything, is it? When your first home game of the season, it always feels different. It feels a bit more exciting. There's more euphoria around the place. So I think the atmosphere will be good. And I think, like you say, Diaby on his home debut, he's gonna want to impress. He scored last week, so I think he's gonna be a big threat. Watkins again, I think he's gonna be a threat. John McGinn's I think he'll be decent for Villa as well, especially midfield. So I'd say like McGinn, Diaby, and Watkins should be a threat.
Yeah, and to flip it around, really, is there, as a Villa fan, is there any Everton players that are worrying you going into this game?
Um, yeah, I think you've got some good players. I really like Onana. I think he's a really good player. You know, watching him from afar as a Villa fan, I think he's got, you know, pace. He's got power. He's I think you're playing too deep, to be fair. I think I
Yeah,
watched you against Fulham and I think I'd swap Decore and Onana and have
yeah,
Onana as that sort of attacking me. I don't know why, you know, even that chance that Decore was through, it's like in that position, he's probably not accustomed to being there to start with. But I think I'd play Onana there. So I think, you know, I think he's a threat. Um, yeah, I'd say Onana, to be fair. I think you're quite solid, aren't you? And you know, Mopo misses quite a lot of chances, doesn't he? So you know, if he finds his shooting boots, then he might be a threat. But you know, I mean, you know, he gets in good positions, but he can't finish, can he? So
Go on.
yeah.
I think I'd trust a broom up front better than Morpay after that Fulham game. After that, I have no faith in the fella anymore. But anyway, if you look at a weak spot in that Aston Villa team, where do you think Everton could cause damage?
If we play this high line we've been playing, we've been doing it in pre-season and we've been getting caught out. We played it against Newcastle and we got caught out numerous times. But you know, Unai's like a master tactician. He goes into a lot of detail, and I can't imagine us being as bad as we were last week at defending. So I'd say that would have been an area, but yeah, I think we should sort that out. Set pieces, you know, Everton, you love an overload, don't you, on the back post and stuff, and you know you've got a lot of height, quite physical, so. Maybe on set pieces with Mings being out, he's normally one that sort of picks up space zonally. So we need someone that's going to do that type of work. So I don't know who's going to do it for Villa. Maybe Carlos if he plays. But yeah, I'd say probably set pieces. You'd probably cause a bit of trouble, maybe.
What do you think your lineup's going to be going into the game?
So I would go. Well, this is what I've picked for my lineup on our show. I've gone with Martinez, Pau Torres, Carlos, Consa. Who else have I gone with? Cash, Luca Dean, not Luca Dean, Louise and Kamara, McGinn and Tielemans, Diaby and Watkins. That's who I've gone with.
Yeah, that is a really good team, to be honest. It has surprised me, especially how much Villa have improved over the last 2 years, especially. You know, having a friend from university who's a Villa fan as well, so I hear all about it, how the difference is, and watched them plenty of times. But finally, the last question, like you mentioned, it being your first home game of the season, what do you think the score's going to be?
You probably cut me off in a minute. I've gone with 3-1 Villa. I think, especially being at home, need to bounce back from last week. You know, we were so below par last week. And yeah, I think I really like Everton. I really hope you can kick on and have a good season because I really like the Everton fans as well. But I think we've probably got a bit too much firepower. I think for Everton to probably win the game, you're going to probably have to score two or more. And like you say, I'm just not sure on where the goals are going to come from. So I'd go 3-1 Villa.
Yeah, I think the only thing we're hoping on to get a goal really is a fit Calvert-Lewin, and the fact that Mings is out, so we might be able to use the aerial presence and got set pieces to try. But yeah, going into the last question, we like to ask a little random question before we end things off. What TV series are you binging right now?
Oh, and what? Well, some people. I'm watching like this program I used to watch as a kid called The Mighty Boosh. I've kind of got back into watching that, so it's a bit random. It's a bit weird, like early Noel Fielding comedy. But yeah, I've been watching a bit of that. To be fair.
Yeah. Well, that's all for today's video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to Luke for coming on.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you all for the next video, everyone. Goodbye.